mistaken. It's very clear, Madam Speaker, that the way these communities used to live, there are dry season grazing areas and there are the wet season grazing areas. I'm sure the Senator knows. It may be unfortunate that those small-scale farmers may have been affected. But what draws these pastoralists to those areas mainly is the fact that these used to be their fallback areas. Conservationists have grabbed lands and they have allocated themselves. So it becomes, when that part is protected, the unfortunate person will be the small-scale farmer who cannot protect himself. But it's very unfortunate, but the bigger issue needs to be addressed.
Senator Nderitu.
Thank you for the clarity, but we are dealing with the bandits. But thank you for the clarity.
Senator Mbogo George Ochilo Ayako. It's not in. Senator Ole Kina Ledama.
Madam Speaker, let me begin by thanking you for allowing me to make my contribution to this statement, which I fully support, that has been raised by my colleague, the Senator of Laikipia. Madam Speaker, from the onset, I want to say that historical land injustices is the cause of all these problems that we're experiencing in Laikipia. Laikipia County is a bedrock of the historical injustices. Madam Speaker, when you traverse that county of Laikipia, you wonder what the framers of the Constitution had in mind when they came up with Article 67, 2E, setting up the Land Commission to be able, and giving it the power to be able to investigate. In fact, I will read Article 67, 2E of the Constitution state clearly as follows. The Land Commission has the power to initiate investigation on its own initiative or on a complaint into a present or historical land injustice and recommend appropriate redress. This House of Parliament, both the Senate and the National Assembly, passed the National Land Commissions Act. And in fact, in 2016, they amended it. They amended the Act of 2012. And in Section 15, which is the act that was amended, it states as follows: the Commission shall, within 2 years of appointment, recommend to Parliament appropriate legislation to provide for investigation and adjudication of claims arising out of historical land injustices for the purpose of Article 67, 2E of the Constitution. Further, Madam Speaker, the Act was amended to set a deadline of 21st of September 2021 on where everyone in Kenya who feel aggrieved can be able to file their complaint to the Land Commission. I'm aware, Madam Speaker, that the Maasai Nation have been drafting and will be presenting before the deadline on these challenges. On that note, Madam Speaker, I want to reiterate that what the government is doing currently is not the right thing to do. Violence, Madam Speaker, begets violence. Arresting leaders like the former Member of Parliament, Matthew Lembrugel, and the current Member of Parliament from, what's his name? Tiati, the Honorable Kamket, is not the solution. The solution should be found by the government sitting with these leaders and talking to them. Because, Madam Speaker, you and I know that the problem we are facing in Laikipia is as a result of climate change. There is a huge drought. And this is a matter that happens every year. Madam Speaker, last year I brought a statement in this House because of the Maasais who were killed in Laikipia by the GSU. I hear my colleagues talking about the military being brought in to help the police. How do you bring a military to deal with a matter that can be resolved by the police? Madam Speaker, I think we are really mixing things here. I think the key most important is to find out the best solution to this. The solution to this is not by pointing a gun. The solution to this is not by having the security ministry talking about how they have inadequate...
Order, Senator Nderitu.
Madam Speaker, the Senator, Honorable Senator Ole Kina is telling us when people are being shot, schools are being torched, people have been displaced from their areas where they live. Madam Speaker, tomorrow we are going to bury somebody, and he's telling us readers should sit and discuss. What are we discussing, Madam Speaker? We should allow the government to do what they do best, Madam Speaker, because I'm not getting what the message is trying to drive home, Madam Speaker. We are suffering, people of Laikipia, while Ole Kina is coming here to lecture people, telling us about climate change. If the climate changes, you ban somebody's school. If the climate change, Madam Speaker, you kill someone, Madam Speaker. If the climate changes, Madam Speaker, you go ahead and displace people. I cannot understand that. All of a sudden, he's telling us we should not arrest readers because they are leaders. We are talking about bandits, Madam Speaker. We are not talking about people who come to Laikipia and they say they want to be given places to graze. There are people who are innocent Kenyans who will look for pastures for their livestock. They even proceed to Mount Kenya, and they are allowed to proceed to Mount Kenya. But we cannot allow bandits, Madam Speaker, to come and kill people of Laikipia, then you tell the government to sit down and discuss with those criminals. It cannot happen. Where on earth can you discuss with criminals? I would request the committee of security to deal with this matter. Madam Speaker, it's so painful when I listen to my colleague talking about discussing the issue of security. We sit down to discuss when people are being killed, and we are told we are being lectured about the way environment has changed.
We are not in an argument. You had your time to debate, and we have heard you. So let Senator Ole Kina proceed.
Madam Speaker, let me be very clear here that I really sympathize and I empathize with my colleague. And on that note, I'd like to send my deepest condolences to the people of Laikipia who have lost their life because of this situation. Madam Speaker, but running away from the problem is not solving the problem. Madam Speaker, Laikipia, the reason why these pastoralists are moving from one place to another is because of the drought situation. Madam Speaker, if the President of the Republic of Kenya can declare drought as a national disaster, and today orders Treasury to release 2 billion shillings to be able to deal with this issue, why would the elected senator from Laikipia see the problem? Madam Speaker, and I request to be given my time because I was interrupted when I was speaking. Madam Speaker, I want to be very categorical and say that the problem is that government is not doing what should be done to be able to solve this problem. We have the National Land Commission, which should be dealing with the issue as prescribed by the National Land Act, Section 15. It spells out the rules and sets deadline on when this problem should be resolved. So, Madam Speaker, this issue is not just an issue of people going crazy, going gaga, and going out there and taking guns and shooting people. There are people who are competing for pasture. And Laikipia, Madam Speaker, is where a lot of people, pastoralists, go to seek for pasture. How do you explain, Madam Speaker, having someone with 200,000 or 300,000 acres of land when the original inhabitants of that land do not have any land? Madam Speaker, I really want to state it categorically.
I'm adding you 2 minutes
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
for the time that was taken by Senator. But you
on
need
this
to conclude.
note, I stand with the Honorable Matthew Lembrugel, who was arrested just for merely stating that this was our land. This was originally Maasai land. And that Maasais are not interested in the land. They are only interested with the green pasture. Madam Speaker, the problem we have can be resolved by the government sitting with the leaders and the local community to be able to address these challenges. Running away and pointing fingers and saying these people are crazy, or pointing fingers at the ministry and saying you should be bringing the military will not solve this problem. We have the law, Madam Speaker. The Constitution is a living document. Article 67 of the Constitution set out the Land Commissions Act. And it says clearly that they should advise Parliament on what should be done. There is a law, and I want to invite my brother to go and get the National Land Commissions Act and look at Section 15. It spells out clearly what should be done. So, Madam Speaker, unless we are willing to resolve this problem, or unless we are not willing to resolve this problem, then we will come here and point out fingers and say that our community is being fought. Let us stick to the rule of law. Let us look at what is happening. I want to thank the President for having recognized that the drought is a national disaster. We're not asking for people to fight on a daily basis. All we're asking for is for people to get food. Madam Speaker, I want to call upon the Ministry of Interior to sit down with these leaders, saying that this land is Maasai land. It should not be an offense that you are taken to court. It is historical. We know it. That land was occupied by the Maasai. It was taken away from them. So we will never be able to resolve this problem. Laikipia is having those challenges. Finally, Madam Speaker, let me reiterate, we have a legal framework. We've got a process. Arresting leaders will not solve the problem. The people of Laikipia, the pastoralists, need to be listened to. They need to sit down with them and find a solution. We cannot be fighting on this issue on a daily basis. This year is only evident because next year is an election year. That's why everybody is up in arms on that issue. Finalize, Madam Speaker, if you may allow me to.
Your time is up. I added you 2 more minutes.
1 more minute, please. Just the last.
You need to conclude, Senator Ledama.
Finalize by saying this. Although I disassociate myself from the sentiments of some of my colleagues on the position that the Ministry of Interior has taken, I just want to end by saying this, that in a mature democracy, which I think this is a mature democracy, leaders ought not to be arrested, but they need to be consulted in order for them to be able to speak to their people. In a mature democracy, this is the only part that I will associate myself with my colleagues. Leaders who are tasked with the responsibility of ensuring the security of other people would have resigned by now because all this is happening in their watch. The challenges we have in this country is we are used to postponing situations. We've talked about ADC, Madam Speaker, in this parliament. There's thousands and thousands of acres of land in Laikipia. Mutara. That land is historically something we call in Maasai Olokeri, a place where the Maasais keep it aside to graze their cows when there's a huge drought. What Matthew Lembrugel said, Madam Speaker, if I can reiterate, is that He's just saying this is a Maasai land. He did not say that now everybody should go out there and fight. So, Madam Speaker, I rest my case there. And I hope that we'll be mature enough to follow the rule of law.
Senator Ephraim Maina, are you still there? Senator Ephraim Maina on Zoom? Not there. So we move to Senator Langat Christopher.
Give me the mic. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for also giving me this opportunity to add my voice on this. First, may I condole with the families who have lost their relatives in Laikipia. It is so painful that most of them are just ordinary people who are not armed, but they were just attacked and they were killed. And I want to say that, Madam Speaker, it is so important to understand that banditry in this country is becoming alarming. And I want to say that it is very unfortunate that the government is always on the reactive part of fighting. They just sit comfortably until the time when this particular attack starts taking place. We would like to ask the government very clearly that banditry in Laikipia is not taking place for the first time. It has been there in Samburu, it has been there in Turkana, West Pokot, and those particular places for so many years. It should have been high time for the government to have taken proactive measures to make sure that these particular heinous activities are taken in control early enough before the property and the lives of people are destroyed. It is very sad, Madam Speaker, that at times I want to say that the Ministry of Interior has been misplacing their priorities. Last week, 2 weeks ago, when we were in the funeral of our late brother, Senator Mutembei, we were surprised at the middle of the funeral service to see several lorries of General Service Unit being deployed to a funeral when it is taking a long time for the same force to be deployed to protect Kenyans in Laikipia. So I want to ask one question. Since this particular heinous activity has been taking place for so many years, I want to ask, has this government taken an initiative to find out the proper reasons, including those ones that Senator from Narok was actually mentioning? It is somehow very clear that the government is only reacting on situation without having taken time to research and find out what are the causes of these particular issues. The government is just seated waiting for this particular problem to take place so that after 3 days or 4 days, they simply deploy this particular security personnel to those places. It is quite unfortunate. My friend Cherargei was there during the funeral of Mutembei. While we were still just getting the summons from the preacher, we were shocked. About 4 lorries of the General Service were deployed to a funeral when they are unable to deploy the same to save our lives in Laikipia. So I want to say it is quite sad, and I want to say that the activities of our regional commissioner in Rift Valley, Mr. Mutembei, he has been always very busy deploying security personnel to funerals, to some functions, to weddings, yet he is now unable even to counter effect whatever is happening in that particular place. He has been going to the villages telling the Kipsigis people to do family planning because they are giving birth to so many children, yet we've never gone to his place to beg for food. You should understand that. Here comes serious issues he is not ready to face. He has been reduced to part of the media. He is now announcing what is happening, how many lives we are losing, instead of acting. It's quite unfortunate for such a particular person. So I want to say that this particular banditry, Madam Speaker, has caused a lot of challenges in these particular places. During this particular time of COVID, students are not going to school. Imagine, lives are being lost, economic activities declining, the cattle belonging to these particular people are being taken by the cattle rustlers, enmity is building up as we approach to election. So I would like to call upon the committee who will take in charge of this matter to call a committee of the whole so that we ask the Minister of Interior to tell us exactly what he has put in place as a proactive measure to prevent the same in the future. Otherwise, sitting here in Nairobi and watching people die.
Just 1 minute, Senator Langat.
Yes, otherwise I would have said, thank you. Thank you for adding me this particular 1 minute to say that the Minister of Interior should be invited here to the Committee of the Whole so that we ask him very loud questions that he must answer. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Senator Makori Beatrice Kwamboka.
Asante sana Bispika kwa kunipa fursa hii kuchangia tangazo hili ambalo limeletwa na Seneta wa Laikipia. Kwanza ningependa kumshukuru kwa kuleta hili tangazo kwenye jumba hili la Seneti. Kwa ukweli ni uchungu sana tunavyoona yale maneno ambayo yanaendelea kule Laikipia, hayo makabiliano, watu wanakufa, watoto wanakufa pia kule.
Nafikiri sio tangazo, ni mswada.
Mswada, hata taarifa.
Sio taarifa, labda.
Bi Speaker, nimeenda kwenye dictionary nikagoogle nikaona pia imeandikwa tangazo.
Haya, tuendelee.
Kamusi. Kabla ya kuzungumza hii lugha ya Kiswahili, lazima tuende kwa madaftari tukaangalie vile lugha inavyotamkwa. Bi Speaker, ni uchungu sana kuona yale yanayoendelea kule Laikipia. Wakati ambapo tuko na janga la COVID, watu wanaumia kwa sababu ya COVID. Wakati huu kwenye hiyo vita unaona shule zimefungwa. Sijui watoto wetu wataenda wapi. Kuna wale watoto ambao wanafaa kukalia mitihani ya kidato cha 4, darasa la 8, hata yao madarasa mengine. Ni uchungu sana tunavyoona wamama wanavyolia. Katika runinga zetu za televisheni, ukifungua televisheni wakati wa habari za mchana, usiku, kila mara ni kilio kila wakati. Ningeliomba serikali hii ya Kenya ya Jubilee iweze kuharakisha, iweze kusaidia watu hawa ambao wanaumia kule Laikipia. Maafisa wa polisi ambao wanatakikana wao wanasuluhisha jambo hili, waende kwa haraka sana, wajue ni nini kinachoendelea. Kwa sababu hata wakati huu tunaposema kuwa pengine ni CS fulani ama nani, sio wakati wa kurushiana mikono ama kupeana lawama. Ni wakati sisi wote tukae kwenye meza, askari wote ambao penye wapo waweze kufika pale, waweze kuokoa maisha ya binadamu ambao iko kule. Na kama kuna ukosefu wa askari, upungufu wa askari ambao wasiotosha, ni vyema tuelezwe na hii hali iweze kuangaliliwa haraka ipasavyo, kwa sababu mwaka ujao ni mwaka wa siasa na ni mwaka wa uchaguzi, na tunavyoona mambo yanavyoendelea hivi sasa hivi si maneno mazuri. Kwa hivyo ningeliomba kamati ile ambayo ya uchunguzi ambayo mimi ninakalia, chairman wangu yuko hapa, ataweza kutueleza vile tutakabiliana hivi huko, na ni kwa haraka sana tuweze kufika pale, tuweze kuangalia mambo yanavyoendelea ili watu wetu wasaidike. Asante sana Bi Speaker.
Senator Mudhama Agnes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity to contribute. I was wondering when I would be called because I was on since morning, since early afternoon, sorry. I want to congratulate the Senator for Laikipia for this very important statement. And I want to say, Madam Speaker, that Kenya is known for keeping peace even in our neighboring countries. And so when we see that we don't have peace in some of the areas of Kenya, it is really not very good, because the people of Laikipia are citizens of this country, and they need also to live in peace like any other part of this country. Not only Laikipia, but those areas where we've been seeing people living in distress and having no peace and running up and down, their houses being torched, and children not going to school because then they have no home, they have no school. And I feel sorry, Madam Speaker, for such mothers, because when in such areas, when such things happen, the people who suffer mostly are women and children. And women and children go out there and live in cold. They are not going to school. It is a period of COVID-19 when people are told to take care and to sanitize. So you wonder, where are they going to sanitize and with what? And what are they going to eat even? Madam Speaker, I would also say, even as we call upon the government to do something about it, that the community also should come in, the elders of the community should also come in and engage with the people and see how they can solve those differences, because these are people who have differences. And the elders should be able to help the government also in doing whatever the government is supposed to be doing. During this time of COVID, Madam Speaker, this is very, very bad. And I pray and I plead with the Security Committee to do whatever is needed for them to do to make sure that they speak to the security, interior security ministry, the Ministry of Interior Security, so that they can bring this to an end. And I plead and I pray that these women and these children will be assisted at least to have peace and stay and live at home. I know what it means, Madam Speaker, to live without a home when you had a home. I know what it means, I know what it feels, and I'm very, very angry with this, and I plead with the government to do something for these children and for these mothers. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I support.
And finally, let us hear from the chair of the Security Committee, Senator Outa.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, let me take this opportunity to thank the Senator of Laikipia for this statement before this honorable House. I want to assure you, Senator of Laikipia, my good friend, that this is a matter of national importance, and we have seen that it is a responsibility of the national government to protect its own citizens by all means. And if you read on chapter 14 or the article 238 on our constitution, it provides that it is the national security that provides protection of its own citizens, that is Kenyans, their property, their freedom, their integrity. And on that matter, this is more urgent for us as a committee, that I want to assure you that on Monday, this coming Monday, my committee will be on the ground. And if the Cabinet Secretary is hearing me this afternoon, we need to organize with the commissioner in that area that this committee of the Senate, the National Security Committee, will be in Laikipia to be able to come and meet with the people of Laikipia in order to find the deep causes of the conflict in Laikipia County. We cannot allow, that every now and then, all our women, our children, cannot have peace in Laikipia. Laikipia is part of this country. Laikipia is not in any other war-torn like Afghanistan. And therefore, the cabinet minister, I think, is hearing us from the House of the Senate that this is a matter of the national importance, and people have spoken, and the House have spoken, and we have to do something about it. It's going to be a matter of collective responsibility. We do not want to blame anyone. But after we have gone down on Monday, we will collect the facts. And those facts is what we're going to use to invite the cabinet secretary to appear before this committee together with other organs so that we can come to a conclusion where the people of Laikipia will be free from any interference, no matter whether it is from internal or external. And it is a duty for the country of Kenya, especially the government of Kenya. And this is what we promised Kenya. And I want to assure you again, as the chair of this committee, we will be there on Monday. And we want you to be available. If you're not going to be available, let us know, because we do not want to go there when you are not there. Find us, for us, a venue where we could be able to meet. And we want to send a very strong signal to the people of Kenya, and especially the bandit, that they do not have any other place to live here in Kenya. If there's any other place, it's outside Kenya, not within Kenya. Kenya is a democratic. Kenya has a right to protect its citizens. Kenya has powers. We have all the weapons that we need. It's not a matter of crying that we do not have weapons. Here in Kenya is where we make weapons. You know, we have a factory in here in Kenya that was launched by His Excellency, the President. So therefore, when people talk about weapons, we have enough, and we want to get there and be able to solve these problems once and for all. And I want to assure you, Monday, the committee will be there. And I want to urge all the members who are the committee members of the national security to be ready early in the morning to fly over to Laikipia and come back and report to this House what we have found. And I want to thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yes, Senator Nderitu John.
Thank you. I want to thank the chairman of the Committee of Security. I want to assure him I'll join them on Monday. The only thing that was missing in the link, Madam Speaker, the timelines in terms of once we get the information from Laikipia. He said he'll report to this House, which I guess is on Tuesday. I would want to have a rough idea when we are going to meet the other organs that he mentioned, the security organs, Madam Speaker.
I think those ones are details that can be worked out by the committee, and the chair has given an undertaking. I therefore refer this statement to the security committee. And of course, we have had a commitment by the chair that the security committee is hereby ordered to proceed to the ground by Monday and to be able to report back to this House in the next sitting. And also for the security chair to ensure that they liaise with the security apparatus for a successful and fruitful engagement, so that we are able to get a way forward, maybe an interim report by the next sitting after you visit the ground. So that stands referred to the security committee. Senator, there is